One thing that kind of drives me a bit crazy, people know I make music videos and they can obviously see that I'm in the video and assume that I edited it, but for some reason people are always confused or surprised when I tell them I also wrote the music. They're like, oh my god, how did you do that? Do you play the instruments? And no, I use two different programs, one to compose and one to mix. What I have open right here is Reason. Reason is a MIDI based program. MIDI is like electronic sounds. Some of the sounds are sampled from real stuff, but basically it's all electronic. It's not preferable, but I can usually get the kind of sound I want out of it. Also after mixing, the other program I use, Adobe Audition, I use for mixing and balancing the sound and recording vocals. So I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you have your own instruments, I recommend recording with real instruments, but here I kind of get the results I want. And this is the Subway song. I have a bunch of tracks here. I haven't counted how many. These here are placeholders for the melody. They're different instruments. I don't really, you can hear. This thing, whatever it is, what is that? It's called Old School? Yeah, this is actually in the final mix, as is this, the M-Tron flutes. Those are actually really subtly mixed in with the original sample, just to give it some more weight, I guess. The original, I had to cut out the backgrounds in the original sample, so it sounded really thin, so adding these kind of gave it the right amount of depth. Actually, when I started writing this, I started with a piano. I don't know, I just imagined that it would have piano in it somehow. This was the core of the song, yeah, what it started on, what gave it its rhythm. The piano sounds good enough. It's mixed in better. I mean, I mixed it, I did stuff to it in Audition, which I'll show you later, but it sounds a little thinner here. What else we got? My secret percussion instrument. Let me get the regular percussion first. What's it? We've got the bass drum. It's not quite snare, as you can hear, the hi-hat or cymbal, and the crash cymbal. Now this is good enough as it is, but when I was searching for instruments, I came upon, this is actually bass. Like very short bass sound, but what I did, I put it really low where it just sounds like thump, and this became another percussion instrument. It really doesn't need to change notes at all because it's all too low to be musical or whatever. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have this is an effect I use just once or twice in the song. This is very subtle effect. It's in there a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but it gives kind of mood. What else? This is one of the bass sounds. It's actually, there's a little too much treble, and I kind of fixed that in the final mix, but sounded okay. Not that one yet. There's another bass. Is it this one? Yeah. I really like how that one sounds. What else? Oh, I have a third bass. This one also has a bit too much treble going on. Now, this is one of my favorite. this one? I think it's this one, yeah. This is sort of like a derivation of the Who's synthesizer thing. You know the Who, like the famous rock band. They're one of my favorite bands. This kind of synthesizer sound is used in stuff like Won't Get Fooled Again. It's a bit different, but it's got like a similar effect. I think this is like one of the big secret ingredients of this song. And then I believe these are the strings. Orchestra Hero, yes. Okay, but it's not all balanced, and some parts are muddy, especially when it leaves off there. One of the bass things holds over, and I can't just remove it here. So let's jump over to Audition. This is basically where I lay all the tracks out. I can change how loud they are at different points. A bunch of different effects. So it sounds... One problem is because when I output those instruments, they are all MIDI stuff, which means even though I'm outputting them separately and adding them separately here, they have the same kind of like electronic root, the same kind of, some kind of frequency. So they sort of mix over a little bit and get a little muddy. I can't separate them completely. So actually, if you hear the instruments separately, they sound a bit thin, and when you hear different different instruments played together, it sounds a bit muddy at times, but that's because they're not like pure instruments. But the resulting effect came out pretty good. In the intro here, basically, I just reversed the strings and the crash. Oh, I doubled the strings on the left and on the right. No vocals here, I took them out, but
it's a Seoul metropolitan subway system. It's so simple for people who hop in from...
As you can see here, I recorded them in chunks. I didn't just record the whole thing in one take. Lots of chunks. This is how mixing is done. This was very hard to mix. Even after I finished it, I wasn't that happy with it, and I mixed it a little bit more. I think the final version is okay now. Like I said, still the instruments are MIDI at the root, so it's not the best production ever, but people seem to like it. I'm pretty happy with it. And I hope you enjoy listening to the instrumental version. You can download it I'll provide a link in the bar below. So enjoy it, listen to it on repeat, and tell your friends, tell them I wrote it, tell them I actually wrote it. This is all the work. All right, that's how it's done.